Welcome back to the Daily Move. Today our video is on a warm-up for either a musician or even people that are sitting at their desk will benefit from this. So you do need a chair here, but we're going to start with some spinal rolling. So you're in a standing position here and we're creating flexion of the spine here. So what I'm trying to do is round out my back towards the ceiling, and then I'm doing a slight extension as I stand up, just warming up the spine. So you can also do this seated in your chair as well, using your knees to push that spine backwards and then using the knees to come back into extension. So you can do either both variations or choose the one that feels best for you. Once you've done that, you're gonna have your arms crossed and we're gonna do a rotation, but watch that the hip doesn't move with it. So your knee should stay at the same level as you perform this rotation. You're holding it for a few seconds. Now you can use your arms and assist yourself in this rotation. Just make sure it's your spinal muscles that are creating that rotation and see if you can hold it without that support. We're gonna repeat this to the opposite side. Returning back to center, we're going to go back to the right again. Now this time performing a side bend. So we're not trying to lean so that our weight lifts up from the opposite side. Our hips are firmly down towards the ground, and what we're trying to do is lift up the rib cage to get a side body stretch there. And we're going to repeat this to the other side. It is totally optional to add in the arm overhead. And now we're going to go back to flexion, extension, rotation, rotation to the other side, side bend, and side bend to the opposite side. Arms are optional here. You do not need to add in that arm. So we're going to repeat this cycle a few times where we go flexion, extension, rotation, and then going into the side bend. Go at a pace that feels right for you. Now here's another option where we add in the arms with the flexion extension. Again, the arms are completely optional. And now I'm using my arms to create a little bit of a bigger spinal twist here. Again, arms are optional. And then using the arms for the side bend. So you're working through this series at your own pace, with or without the arms. Flexion, extension, rotation, rotation, side bend, side bend. So now what I'm doing here is I'm rounding down towards the ground. And then it's an optional to do this spinal twist. So rounding down towards the ground, optional spinal twist. So next I'm crossing one leg over the other. just to get a little bit of a glute stretch here. If this is too intense, that bottom leg doesn't need to be bent as much. You can straighten it out a little bit. And what you're doing is you're sitting up nice and tall, hinging at the hips, feeling a little bit of a stretch into the glute. If you need a deeper stretch, you can just pull the top leg in towards yourself and then lean a little bit deeper. You can even push that top knee down to feel a deeper stretch into the glutes. Again, respecting your body and only doing what feels right. So once you feel stretched out there, we're gonna go into a standing position. Of course, you can do this seated as well. And we've got some gentle neck rolls. So I'm tucking my chin down, letting my neck roll around, stopping at the side and then returning back to center. So it's not a full circle where we're going into that extension, we're just working that flexion rotation. Next, what we're gonna do is full rotation. So turning the neck to look over your shoulder without letting the shoulders get involved. Next, you're going to bring your ear down to your shoulder without bringing the shoulder up. We're creating the side bend of the neck here. Completely optional. If you want, you can add in your hand just to gently guide it down towards that side bend to get a deeper stretch. Another option too is wherever your ear is headed to, the opposite arm can reach down closer to the floor. That will also create a deeper stretch. Next, I'm supporting my head here and I'm pulling it kind of up towards the ceiling and tucking it down without reefing on my neck. I find if I use my arms to do this, I get a deeper stretch and I can feel it all the way down my spine. Go very gentle here. We're not trying to force anything, just getting a nice stretch into the back of the neck. Next, we have some shoulder rolls. So I'm doing 3 backwards here and then 3 forwards. We're gonna repeat this, but now with the elbows bent and bringing the elbows up towards the ceiling with that rotation and then back down. 3 forward, 3 backwards. So now we're creating this spinal twist again, but we're using the arm to kind of drive a faster paced twist here. Again, you can take this nice and slow. And if you want, you can add in the wrist here. And what I'm doing here with the wrist is I'm flexing it backwards as it guides. It's kind of hard to see here. The camera kind of cuts it off. So next we're going to take a step onto our chair and we're trying to get a stretch into our hip flexor here. So go gentle. You can tuck the pelvis under to feel a deeper stretch, or you can start bending that bottom leg, leaning into that lunge even further if you require more of a stretch. So our hip flexors get really tight when we're sitting, so we're just stretching it out here. Next, we're going to press our fingers together. So this goes for musicians and it goes for people who have been typing lots. We're just strengthening our fingers here by pressing them in towards one another and then relaxing. Next, we're going to stretch each individual finger. So I'm just pulling one finger at a time backwards, feeling a nice stretch into the tissue there. Nothing being forceful, just a nice, easy stretch. So now we're going to do the opposite of, instead of stretching, we're actually curling our finger over top of another finger to create some strength there. So now we're going to stretch out the wrist here. So we're in a prayer motion and you're lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling in order to feel a deeper stretch. So now we're going to reverse this prayer so that it goes down. The back of our hands are now touching. And this time, instead of bringing the elbows to the ceiling, we're actually dropping the elbows down and then bringing the wrist up. Now we're creating circles with our wrists. That's it, that's all guys. Nice little break. Great way to warm up if you're about to sit down to either play a musical instrument or to sit down to do some desk work. Either way, it's important for us to move our body. I hope you enjoyed the daily move today. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below and I'm happy to make those videos. Have an excellent day. Enjoy the sunshine. Bye.